Skate Day. I'm Shove.
And I'm Rebel.
And that loud noise in the back is always our little French old man.
Bobo. Drinking a river full of water.
And you know, babe, we got called out because in our last episode we forgot to say that together we are...
Shovel.
Can you dig it?
I dig it.
Shout out for noticing that.
I have a shovel necklace that Shove gave me.
Yeah, and apparently Bowie's been dehydrated all day, so it kind of sounds like one of those sleep things that we like to listen to, like...
A really bad white noise machine.
Yeah, it's like, Alexa, play the sounds of dogs drinking water. And then it helps you sleep.
First skill water fountain sounds by Best Design. Welcome to Water Fountain Sounds.
Alexa, stop.
Wow. See,
Thanks
exhibit.
for listening.
Thanks for being a part
joining
of
our podcast. Our first guest, everybody.
We have AI here. Things are moving on up.
Moving on up.
But yeah, for those of you who are watching, I'm stressed out in life in general. But now that I don't have to cut and dye my own hair, I can just cut a wig. So I'm rocking a mullet shag. And I know that Rebel hates it. And I don't care because I love it and it makes me happy. And Rebel looks like a sexy Cruella de Vil.
I don't hate your hair.
You don't?
No.
You're always like, microbangs bad. Mullets bad. Don't do it.
No. I love your hair.
Literally, as I was doing it, I was like, well, Rebel's gonna think I'm unattractive today.
No, I love it. I think it's so cute.
Are you lying for the people?
No, I'm not.
She did say I looked like her mom when I first walked out of the bathroom.
She does look like my mom. My mom when she was younger.
But yeah. We literally just got dressed up for y'all.
Literally just for you.
We dressed up our voice for those of you that are just listening. We look like...
we did some tongue twisters earlier.
Not sure if we're in a band or we're groupies, but we got a look going and I like it and we're vibing. We got the Dyke-alike thing going on.
Yeah, I kind of wish we were going to a bar or like going dancing or something right now.
Right? What's really funny is I'm wearing joggers and fuzzy slippers, but Rebel literally wore some velvet black pants and some white, like...
My Michael Jackson shoes.
Leather shoes. Like, she was like, I'm gonna get decked out from head to toe.
Because what I've realized is, like, from the beginning of the quarantine until now, I have not been wearing shoes at all. And I've been wearing, like, pajama pants or, like, joggers or yoga pants or whatever. And what I realize is I'm actually more productive when I put real pants on and shoes.
So you're trying to be productive for our listeners today.
Yeah, I'm trying to be, like, in it to win it.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I'm half-assed as always. But I miss having a reason to dress up as well.
Yeah, it's a good time to be alive. Anyway, so this is Skate Date, our podcast. This is a podcast all about the real world and... the wheel world.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna finish that. I thought you were gonna finish that.
I was spacing out for a little bit.
Oh, the real world and the wheel world, and we're just two roller skaters who talk about, life a lot. So let's do it. Today we're gonna talk about so many things, but
that means she forgot when she says so many things. She's like, wait, what are we talking about?
No, we're talking about feeling the need to still hang out with toxic families over the holidays.
If you've never had to, it's probably because you are the toxic family member.
Oh my god, or you're one of the rare unicorns of magical gold glitter dust
that
who
love their family?
Literally love their family and their family loves them and life is great.
What's that like? No trauma? What? Who are you?
Wow. Super cool. We're jealous of you. We're not making fun of you. We're just jealous. So, with all that being said, should we do our favorite part of the show?
I don't know if it's my favorite part, but it's your favorite part.
It's all of your favorite parts, and it is the fake ads. This is where if you are a business or an organization and you want to sell something, then you can sell it on this ads section of our podcast. Look out, people who have businesses, because we're going to be emailing you soon because we're looking to get sponsors for our new season. We're actually going to be taking a 2-week break at the end of the year and starting fresh the first week of January.
Yeah, so this is just the beginning of the end. of season 1. 3 left.
3 left. And so I hope you enjoy this fake ad and you just imagine this creativity being transferred into your business.
Even though COVID numbers were rising, Inventor
Halia Storm
still had the undying desire to shred at the skate park.
I had just started unlocking tricks, and honestly, I was obsessed.
So she did what any inventor would do.
I took a bunch of supplies from all around my house and started crafting a skatable hazmat suit.
She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she
couldn't give up skating.
And she did it! The first jumpsuit that stops you from getting coronavirus.
The best part is, you can get them in any color you want, and each one comes with a personal air filtration system and a matching scrunchie.
Get yours today for 4 easy payments of $2.99.
$2.99 like $2.99 or $2.99 like $299?
I think $2.99. Like $2.99.
$2.99 for an air filtration system and a magical hazmat
suit.
It's
made in
China. That's cute and colored. Oh. Wow, that's really cheap. I don't think I would trust that to stop me from getting the coronavirus.
All right, y'all, let's head on into the real world. All right, so raise your hand if you have a toxic family member. We're raising our hands, those of you that are listening. Even Bowie raised his hand because his mom just let people she didn't even know take him away.
Yeah, that's okay though, because now he only has toxic family members that sing the song Toxic.
Oh my gosh. Babe, I love you so much. You're so pretty. I gotta remind myself sometimes. I just look at you and I'm like, worth it. Worth it.
Shut up.
But yes, so what is toxic? What is a toxic family member, babe?
What is a toxic family member? A toxic family member could come in so many different forms. You can't even be
this is emotional, mental,
you couldn't even give a definition of a toxic family member. I would say someone that sucks your energy dry and like never gives anything back to you. Kind of the same way as like any toxic relationship. When a relationship is just more harm than good, then that would be a toxic relationship for you.
For sure.
Tears you down. Makes you feel like shit.
Yeah, like that aunt or uncle that literally never has anything nice to say. They're always like, oh, did you get fatter? Did you? What happened to your ex? Why aren't you together? You're going to be single forever. It's always like they're way too personal and they make these digs every time they're around.
Are you still gay?
Yeah. Or maybe it's like one of those people in your family that just like treated you like your whole life, but then all of a sudden during the holidays you're supposed to just be like smile and be like, we can be happy for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and then you go the whole year being able to avoid them, but then everything's supposed to be hunky-dory when it's the holidays.
I think it's so weird that like that's just generally what we believe as a society that we need to do, that we just even these people that I can't even count the number of people in my life who are like, I don't like going home for the holidays.
Yeah, like who?
But
made
we
these
all
rules?
feel so obligated to do it because, you know,
we feel guilty because then we know like the family that we actually do care about will give us the guilt trip about not showing up, and you're like, and you're like, well, I do want to see y'all, but it's like, who made this rule that we're made to go home every winter?
Yeah, why can't we celebrate like, honestly, okay, so, like, me and Shove went to my parents' house the day before Thanksgiving, and I felt guilty for not going over there on Thanksgiving Day. Why? Why do I feel guilty about that? There's no reason why I should feel guilty about that. I should be able to say we're going to split our time between our two families in, like, our own self-family. And, like, we should be allowed to choose what we want to do. We shouldn't feel obligated to spend every holiday with people that we don't necessarily get along with.
Also, we were trapped because the whole reason of not going on Thanksgiving also was so that we weren't around multiple family members. And then it turned into being not just your mom and dad, but also your brother and sister.
Yeah. Which they are in the same household, so, like...
I know, but that's just...
I know, it's frustrating.
It's another part of, like, how parents tell you one thing and then
it's just, like,
else.
a lie. And I feel like that's constantly happening with my family. I don't know. For me, I detest the holidays with people beyond shove. Because it's just, like, not fun for me. Like, it makes me feel bad about myself. Because I think that for me specifically, it's like... my family thinks, like, because they saw you grow up, they think that, like, they know what your plan in life is. And when you change as an adult and you aren't, like, around them for those changes, they automatically assume that you're not being true to yourself and
because
that you need to, like,
know you.
Come back to your roots and, like, be the person that they knew you as. So they're constantly criticizing everything that you do, say, or anything. And, like, it's just, like, that's not me anymore. Like, freaking leave me alone.
I feel like parents are always like, I know you better than you know yourself because, like, they change your diapers from the moment. But it's, like, a person changes and becomes their true self when they leave the nest.
Yeah.
And even when you're living there, when you're a teenager, if there's so much going on that you definitely don't tell your parents, so your parents might think they know you. And they might, like, know, like, where you come from, which affects you and who you are, but they don't really know everything. So it's just crazy that, I don't know. But anyways, so I think, like, one thing that was cool, not cool, but, like, we... lucked out with was that it was COVID. Well, that it is COVID. So we had, as in the people all around the world, had a valid excuse this year.
I feel like I saw so many people being like, thank God I have a legit excuse. I've been trying to find excuses since I was 16. And I've found plenty of excuses. And my parents always are like, I'm so hurt by this. I'm so hurt by all these excuses. You always have excuses. And I'm like, maybe there's a reason. Like, I don't know why. Like, I feel like holidays are so performative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when I go over to my parents' house and it's not a holiday, it doesn't feel like but whenever it's a holiday, it's like there's all these expectations. And I'm like, this is freaking annoying. Like, why are we acting like this?
But that's like me. I just have my dad to worry about. And my dad, like, as long as I check in, like, do you have somewhere to go? Like, I at least just try to make sure, like, do you have somewhere to go?
Yeah.
And then it's like, we can spend time with him. And for me, even though there's, like, a lot of, like, trauma in the past there, like, I know he's a decent person now. So, like, I like to spend time with him. But even then, like, I run out of things to talk to him about because, like, we don't hang out. Like, I do envy the families where it's like they're constantly with their parent, like, especially when they live close, or like any family member, you know. And I always thought that was, like, interesting. I think there's two different dynamics. Like, you have the families that are, like, constantly seeing their parents or their aunts and uncles, like, weekly, and just stopping and grabbing them something at the grocery store. And then you have the people that are like, I literally only see my family during the holidays.
Yeah, I definitely don't understand that dynamic. And I think it's fascinating when people are, like, best friends with their parents. And I think that's super cool. I just, like, it's hard when you have just opposite belief systems with your family members, which I think is the case for a lot of people nowadays, especially the shift of, like, boomers to millennials or Gen Zers. I just think that, like, there's such a stark divide there. And especially in a year when, you know, a lot of people are being like, oh, like, the stuff my parents do and say is super problematic. And maybe they voted for someone that I fucking hate.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe they're part of the reason why I'm feeling all of these things. And, like, I think that there's an even bigger divide there. And so I almost think it's, like, a blessing in disguise that, like, this is the year when people don't necessarily have to see each other, because maybe that's for the best.
Yeah. some people are totally gonna be like, y'all are crazy, like, you have to love your parents and be with them and respect your elders no matter what. And there's like a huge debate I remember seeing online one time, and it was like, it doesn't matter what your like mother did to you, she brought you into this world, so you have to respect her and you have to show up. And it was like a huge thing of like, it was like a cultural divide, really, where like people were like, no, that, because like, if my mom was abusive mentally, emotionally, or physically, why should I as an adult have to be around her and respect her on holidays and stuff, and have this pressure to be like, this is fine now all of a sudden for like this 8 hours on a holiday when I'm eating. And then the other half was just like, yeah, like, you know what, suck it up, like, because you should be grateful no matter what. You wouldn't be here without them. Like, it's just like, so, it's like a crazy divide. It's just so weird that, like, our culture is like, that's normal, like, it's fine, like, suck it up.
Well, I mean, it's collectivist versus individualist cultures, you know, like, individualists are all about, like, looking out for yourself, and that perspective can be brought up within a family, and collectivist is, like, about like the group, like you're more focused on the group above yourself. And as a whole, America is an individualist country, but it's interesting that when it comes to certain things that we're definitely like
the tradition,
the traditional, and like we have to, you know, go home for our apple pie or whatever. And I don't know. I just think it's, I don't know.
Or even like they have to come to your house. Like, cause like for us, we're still like, we don't have kids, and we're still like, we're not like the traditional, like, you're almost 30, I'm in my 30s, where it's like, we're hosting the dinners and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But if you think about, that's the other side, is that people are pressured to, like, make sure their house is spotless, that they have all the food, that they cook it perfectly, because they're inviting these people into their house, and then every little thing they're gonna go through with the white glove and be like, why is this? Why does this look like this? Why is the food like this?
Which is just like... Why? I don't buy, which is so crazy. If you know me, like, I'm such a holiday nut. And, like, for me to just be like, I don't buy all of this, like, perfectionist bull is, like, really interesting. But, like, we were watching Bad Moms the other day.
The Christmas one.
And, like, one of the moms is, like, this major perfectionist for her daughter. And her whole premise, like, the whole character is based around this concept that, like, you know, the moms show their loves to their family once a year by making Christmas perfect. And that's how they show their love to their family. And it's like, what? Like, what kind of capitalist nonsense?
Yeah, well, I remember my mom having to be like, give me money at the mall as a kid and be like, this is your money to buy presents for your dad. Like,
I remember that. I had that too.
Like, it was always up to the mom. It was never the dad. Like... like, the mom was making everything happen.
My dad used to take me to the 99-cent store and say, let's get your mom some stuff.
Nice. I think my final thought I would like to say is just, if you're out there and you're like, I literally know what you're talking about, there's some toxic people that I had to see last week, gotta see them again in a few weeks, and I gotta probably spend New Year's with them too now, because the bars are closed. That's another bad thing. We can't just go straight to the bar and get face drunk after dealing with these family members. But anyways, don't feel the need that you have to be around toxic family members. You don't have to invite them to your house. You shouldn't have to go over to their house. You're grown enough to where you can make a decision. And I know it can be hard, but like, really think about it. Like, why do we put ourselves through this if it's not necessary? It's definitely not necessary.
I think it's all about boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries.
Like, I would say even, like, I don't like going home to my family's house on the holidays, but I make sure to always do it because I know that I never see them any other time of year. Mm-hmm. And so, for me, it's like, I'm going to be a good daughter and go over to my family's house, but I'm going to know a certain time when I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm going to know also, like, if they say anything that disrespects Shove or that disrespects our relationship, like, I'm putting my foot down and we're leaving. So I think for me, it's about, like, making sure that you're still, like, I do think that it is important to respect your family, but I think that boundaries are, like, the most important thing. And if your family is so toxic that even the idea of going over there gives you an anxiety attack or stresses you the out, then maybe it's better not to go over there.
Yeah, I think that's, like, another thing that we didn't talk about is just, like, you have all year to try to work that out, to call out these people on what they did or how they act, their behavior, and then let them try to correct it. But I feel like we just let it fester all year long. Then the holidays come, and then we try to pull that shit out of our bag, that luggage out, and then, like, pack it, unpack it on the dinner table, and then they fight, and you fight, and then you leave feeling triggered. And it's like, we're not saying, like, cut those family members off, because there could be hope, but don't save it for the holidays, because then it just keeps adding to that baggage, and it gets heavier and heavier, and then the holidays are worse and worse, because we feel like we just have to bring it all over each year.
Yeah, and I think that something that I learned this last week was, you know, you don't have to bite, you know, like, they're going to put that carrot in front of your nose, and you don't have to bite it. Like, you can recognize that it's there and think, you're a person for dangling that carrot in front of me. I know that you want to start a fight right now, but you don't have to. And you can have the self-control to just be like, you know what? They don't understand. I'm in a different place. They don't know me, or they don't understand all the nuances in my life, and that's okay. It's okay to be two different people. It's okay to reestablish your relationships with your parents as adults. Like, it's okay to be like, hey, if you want to move forward in relationship with me, then we need to do things a little bit differently. Like, the way you talk to me is actually not okay with me as an adult like this. Like, I need you to respect me, and I'll respect you. And
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have 2 holidays left of the year. So just remember that, because as much as we're not supposed to go see families, we know that people are going to see families. And just be safe about it. And remember, like, don't just go in there mentally strong and emotionally strong. And if you feel like, hey, I can grow and I love these people and we become closer, then that's great. But if you're like, yeah, actually, why am I torturing myself and there's no hope from this? Just don't go. I'm sure there's other people in your life that love you and respect you.
I also think that, like, something that I realized at Thanksgiving was I'm allowed to set COVID boundaries with my family as well. Because I think that I felt like my COVID boundary was broken, and I felt like I couldn't say anything while I was in that moment, because I was like, but they're your family and they're supposed to just, like, infiltrate your space and all this sort of stuff, and, like, I didn't feel safe. And so now moving forward, like, into Christmas, I'm going to set more boundaries and be like, these are my boundaries. If y'all are cool with that, then great, we can move forward. If you're not cool with that, I'm going to continue quarantining, and, like, I'm not going to deal with it. And I think it's important to have those conversations up front, because I know a lot of people that, like, I have some friends that have really big families that they're getting shamed for not going to the big family gathering. And I think that that's a big problem. And to be clear with your family at the start, I think, is important, because even if they're super pissed at you, in the long run, they're gonna understand.
Yeah. Whew. All right. How do you feel about heading on over to the wheel world?
I feel great about it.
All right. So today in the wheel world,
I'm going to talk about some COVID in the skate community. That's right. Your favorite community has been infiltrated with the virus.
It was just a matter of time.
We knew it was going to happen, but we were just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, it sucks right now because a handful of people we know have it.
Yeah, quite a few people we know have it. Very one step away people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think, like, the news has been saying it this whole time. Like, it's literally, oh my gosh, the other day when I said I read, or I don't know, I read, who knows. It was like, if you look to your left and you look to your right, one of those people has COVID. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot. But then I was like, la la la, we're still good. And then I started realizing, like, oh no, like, this whole time I've only known, like, one person personally that had it. And now I know a good amount of people that have it. Yeah. So they weren't kidding. Like, it's serious this time. And how many times at the skate park do we see people with no masks?
So much. I feel like every time I go to the skate park, I have to leave because I see people with no masks on. And it feels so unsafe. And even like...
And we go in the morning.
Yeah, we go in the morning. And even people, like... Even if all the roller skaters are wearing masks, there are a bunch of skateboarders that very often are not wearing masks.
Which makes me feel like, you know, the whole, like, I'm a skateboarder, so I can't wear protection, like, pads and helmets. It's like, they take it so far, they can't wear a mask either.
That's
like,
total
is it an homophobic
bullshit?
I look gay because I don't want to get COVID, so I don't wear a mask? Like,
I hope not, because that's ridiculous.
It's just so weird. And it's just like... I'm sorry, I follow a lot of y'all on Instagram, and I see that it sucks because there's so many skaters that, like, I admire that
I'm friends with.
I lost so much respect for because they're still to this day going to the skate park at nighttime. And, like, you can't tell me that all 30 people in that skate park, none of them have a mask, that they're all in your little pod. Like, that's your safety.
Yeah, like, that's not a pod. That's a group of people.
That's just everyone at the skate park.
That's just all of your friends that you know.
Yeah.
That's not like
and y'all
your
all
closest friends.
breathing hard and skating around and
smoking
like,
together,
passing a joint. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry,
like, nope.
But yeah, when we laugh, but it's really serious because there's people that we care about that have it, and like,
and that also have underlying conditions, and it's not cool.
Yeah, and it's like, it just sucks because it's like, whether they got it because it was skate related or it was their personal life related, it just sucks because it's so easy to get transmitted from one person to the other. So it's like, you might have got it outside, but then you went to the skate park and then you skated with someone else and then you shared water. But the whole thing is that it's just like cross-contamination and like, oh, it's just so scary. And I really hope that like it hitting home, like it hitting like Long Beach.
It's hitting super hard in the Long Beach skate community.
I hope that's the wake-up call that people need to be like, maybe I can put this stupid piece of fabric on my face. Like, what's the problem with wearing it? I'm sorry. Like, I don't get what the problem is with wearing it. Like, why are people so like, I don't need to wear this?
I don't know. All I know is that I'm at the point where I literally am just like not going to leave my house.
Yeah, so like as soon as like Rebel and I found out like how real things were getting and how close to home, I literally looked at her and I said, we're not going to the skate park anywhere. Like, we're going back to full, like, how we were when COVID first started.
And we had been going to the skate park, or at least I had been going to the skate park in the like at 6 a.m, quite a few times in the last week or two.
Yeah, but it's not even worth that all now because it's like reminding us that it could just be that one person that doesn't have a mask that makes it worse. And there's always at least one, and you think like, we're safe because we're keeping distance, but they could just skate like at Venice Beach, that guy that tried to push you into the bowl, like just messing around. Like, there's just it's too risky. And I think the problem is like, we're not on this high and mighty horse, because I was thinking about this the other day. Like, we're just as not just as guilty, but we're still guilty because we're those people like everyone that became like, this is just our new norm now. So at first it was like, now we have one person in our COVID circle, and then that escalated to like 5 people in our COVID circle. Mm-hmm. Or remember going to the grocery store and like wiping everything down with disinfectant wipes. Like, we stopped doing that. Like, we were so anally retentive in the beginning, which I don't even think that was healthy, but it wasn't doing any harm. And we needed like that social contact mentally.
Yeah, but we still, literally, I was just counting the people in my head, and we literally have 5 people in our COVID circle, babe.
I know, but
That's not bad.
I know, but like if we would have stayed as strict as we were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We had 2 people in our COVID circle.
Yeah, so it's just like that whole thing, like when they say once you know someone that has it and then you have to track your steps and then you need to call everyone you were in contact, like that's when you're like, crap. Like, I don't know, it just feels like you don't, like, I don't want to have to like make that call to someone. I don't want to know
I definitely don't
that I was the bridge between someone else.
For sure.
And then it sucks because it's like you have, like, do you think it's fair that like this skater, the first skater that we know, was like shamed because of it?
No, I don't think that that's fair. I don't think anyone should be shamed for having the virus. I think that the only thing that should happen is people should be accountable to letting people know when they have it. Like, I think that it's really fucked up if people don't tell people that they've tested positive. I think that's the only position in which someone might be, like, called out personally, not in public.
No, yeah.
Like, called out personally about something is if you didn't disclose your proximity to someone, like your exposure, or you didn't disclose your results when you were around someone. I think that's the only time that there's an issue. I think that if you get COVID, there's no shame in that. Like, anyone could get COVID. That COVID does not discriminate. Like, it's so easy to get it. I think it's totally messed up that people were shaming, but I think it's...
Can I step in for a second? I think the issue is like, because it's so awkward having to be like, now I gotta retrace my steps and tell people get stuck in like this social media world where it's like, I can just post about it online and then everyone will know and I don't have to like have that awkward conversation.
And that's not true.
Yeah. And
you
that's,
have to have the
like,
personal conversation. You have to call the people. And if you're in the point where the only way you can get a hold of everyone is by posting it on social media, that's a fucking problem.
It's like an STD.
Yeah, it's exactly like an STD, except less shame.
Yeah.
And even I don't think STDs should have shame attached to them, but that's just because I'm very, like, sex positive.
But, like, if you had an STD, if you found out, you would tell any partner you had right away, because then you want some spread. We all know this. We learn it in freaking school. So that's how this works, too, because it's such a big deal. Because the longer you wait to tell someone, the more people that person's going to come in contact with other people. And then, that, you know, you guys know. That's the whole super spread thing.
Yeah, like you don't have to have symptoms in order to spread it.
I'm really wondering if, like, with the new safer at home restrictions, kind of like they did before, even though it feels like it's totally nowhere serious.
It feels like it's not serious at all.
They didn't even really alert it. It was just like,
and it's so much worse now than it was back then.
Yeah.
And they're just, like, not even...
Exactly. And, like, the cops aren't even, like, enforcing the curfew, which is such bull. As soon as there was like a Black Lives Matter protest, it's curfew, let me tear gas you. Yeah, and let me shoot rubber bullets at you. But, it's just like a bunch of people that don't care about COVID out after curfew. It's fine. Like,
yeah.
Like, so stupid. But yeah, I'm really wondering, like, if they're gonna... They said they weren't gonna... What did you read about those skate parks?
They're not closing the skate parks.
And I think that's like... Either because they're lazy and they know last time they filled them up and then people, like, banded together and, like, started emptying them. And they're like, we don't want to use the resources.
Yeah. But I mean, all the gates that went up, people just tore down. And I'm just as guilty of that as everyone else. Like, I've gone and skated at many closed skate parks. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. And, did my example probably perpetrate, like, more people going to the skate park? Probably. And for that, like, I really am sorry. Like, I shouldn't have done that. And that sucks. But all I can do is, like, be a better example now.
Wait, did you, though? Or weren't they open already? Because you stopped going to the skate parks.
Well, I did stop going to the skate parks, but, like, the other day I went to the Village, and that's still closed.
Oh, it's closed? I didn't know.
I climbed through a gate.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Finding out things here sometimes.
I thought I told you.
Nope, it's okay. My girlfriend's a criminal, and I just found out live on Skate Date.
Well, Jessie was like, I was like, Jessie, should we not go here? We could go somewhere else. She's like, no, it's fine. And I was like, oh, okay.
Don't say her name. No, she's dragged into this. What if the cops are watching?
The cops are not
ACAB.
watching this. Fuck 45. Fuck 12.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I just remember, like, the skate parks were full of everything, and I have never, like, seen people come together to get a skate park so clean.
So fast. Amazing.
Wood chips.
The
sand.
unity.
Like, skate parks were literally just, like, pushing sand and wood chips aside to make a run.
Yeah.
Like, showing up with buckets and shovels.
Yeah, people are crazy.
Not wearing masks, gathered together, shoveling them out. Oh my gosh. I was thinking about, like, I was looking at old, like, footage and stuff on my phone, like, beginning of COVID, and how, like, it was tripping me out because, like, people weren't wearing masks. And it was like, this is so weird. Like, we were definitely, like, knew about COVID was everywhere. But then I was like, oh, yeah, because they told us that you didn't have to wear masks. They didn't do any good. Then it was like, only if you think you're sick, wear a mask. And then it was everyone wearing masks.
Yeah.
So it was, like, tripping me out to be like, why are they wearing masks? Like,
Yeah.
COVID was a thing. Like, the evolution of it all.
It's also just so interesting to think about us, like, in the very beginning and how we were just, like, so intense. Like, honestly, we were the most intense people I know.
Yeah, we were y'all think it's bad now when we talk about COVID and everything, but in the beginning, like, literally, I was like, all these assholes are at the park or they're out skating together. What are they doing? Because even then, the whole thing was you could go to the skate park or, like, go somewhere and skate. And then you would, like, break your arm or your leg or something. And then all you're doing is adding more trouble in the hospitals that are overflowed.
So we were saying not to do that. So people were saying not to, like, go to the skate park.
Yeah, like even, like, if you find
respectful.
one, don't, like, be doing all that risky stuff. And don't be, like, hanging out in big groups. And I remember just being like, well, our anxiety was so freaking high, too.
Super high.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can see our COVID weight we've put on. That's from mental stress.
It really is.
And, like, stopped skating as much because it was just like, some people are still doing rollouts and all this stuff. And
I couldn't do it.
just stop, people. Just stop. Like, let the, like, I don't know if
The
you're...
sooner all of us stop, the sooner we can get back to normal life.
Yeah. It's like everyone's trying to go super hard in the paint because they know the vaccine's coming soon. They're like, I heard I'm going to have a vaccine by next June, so let's just all get COVID. Yay.
But that's like, no.
It sucks. And, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just, like, it sucks.
It sucks. It sucks all around. So lessons from the matter are, if you haven't, start taking care of yourselves and protecting yourselves and protecting your family. Don't shame people who have gotten COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do get COVID, like, be responsible and tell the people that you come in contact with. And be adult enough to talk to them personally. Don't just broadcast it on your social media.
Yeah. All that.
Those are the
Well
thoughts.
said, babe.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll all get through this together. Don't be afraid to go get tested. Don't be afraid to quarantine. If there's anything that you're like, I don't know about, or you want to go do something fun with someone, like, even now we know in your COVID circle, quarantine first. Quarantine before you go anywhere for at least, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Don't be doing all this risky stuff. Just don't hang
do
with your
something.
friends.
Yeah, don't do something. Even if you've gotten a negative COVID test, don't, like, see someone and then go hang out, because you just never know.
Yep.
You never know. People could be contagious without, showing any signs of it.
Yep. And we're learning this now, and it's closer to home. And sometimes it needs to hit close to home to really shake things up, and people will learn. So be careful and safe out there, everyone. We love ya, and we hope you're gonna be okay.
Yeah. That's it. All right, let's move on over to 2 Girls, 1 Pup.
Yay, 2 girls, 1 pup.
Bowie. Come here.
He's a little potato. He's like a pussy. Come here.
He's a little potato. I'm a potato.
All right. Two Girls, One Pup is our segment where we talk about the adventures of Bobo, a.k.a. Bowie.
Bowie the man.
A.k.a. Rainbow.
A.k.a. Rainbowy. A.k.a. Bobo. A.k.a. Bobo the man. Yo. I am Bobo. Hear me roar. Guess what I did this last week?
Oh my gosh.
I went on a nature adventure.
Oh my god, babe, you're ridiculous. Okay, so we got to go to our friend's property and there was a lot of nature around and open land. And I was like, we might as well let Bowie be off the leash.
So we just let him off the leash and we were like, explore, man, explore.
And day one, he was like, I ain't going that far. Like, he was like, nope, I don't know where we are. And by day two, he was like, I'm
running down the trail.
Keep on going up this mountain. I was so worried because Bowie cannot hear. So if he just disappears out of sight, like, there was one moment where I turned around and then I looked back and I couldn't see him and I freaked out because if I scream his name, he's not going to come. He can't hear.
Yeah. He was like, I am one with nature now.
He loved it.
He really did love it.
And then with the dead leaves, he was like all camouflaged in and there were like squirrels everywhere. So I was like, I hope he doesn't see a squirrel and just like
dart off. Yeah. Yeah, but he was really loving it.
Yeah, he liked like going down kind of like cliff, like dangerous things. He was like scaling sides of hills and stuff.
Yeah, he was like, the leaves are my friends.
And what's really funny is if you try to walk this fool to the mailbox, which is like a 2-minute walk away, he will just like dead weight stop. Like, you better carry me. Like, this is bullshit. And then he did a full like
a full hike up the mountain. And he was like, fine.
Yeah. So I think he's just like nature. He's like, I belong in nature.
He just doesn't like sidewalks.
Yeah. But it was really impressive to know that, you know, Bowie could be a farm dog.
He could be a farm dog if he wanted to be.
Oh, and then he saw his first donkey.
And he lost his
He didn't even bark, though. He was just shaking. He was just staring. I lost my I was like, oh my god, it's a donkey. I like went skirt with the car and I jumped right out. The car is still running, didn't even say anything. And I was just like, it's a freaking donkey. I wanted to touch it.
She was so stoked.
Rebel said I couldn't touch it
because we didn't know anything about the donkeys.
And then I looked back and Bowie's just like with his little head looking out the window and he's just like looking like, whoa, what kind of dog is that?
Yeah, he was shaking and staring with his ears pointed straight up.
It was crazy because he didn't. He was like, I'm not even gonna bark. Like, he was just like, I am. I don't know. That's a big ass horse.
Yeah,
horse dog.
It's a big horse dog.
But it was cute. I wish that we could have like a huge property for many reasons, but maybe mostly so that Bowie could roam the land.
Oh, he would love that.
Imagine if Bowie would have got lost though, and then like people would have been like, "That's just the Frenchie of the mountains,
the Frenchie of the hills."
Yeah,
Sir French a lot.
He would not survive. There's no way.
No, he would get killed so fast.
Like literally, there was like this giant hawk flying around, and I was like, "Protect Bowie. That bird will snatch up this dog."
Yeah,
he is a tiny Frenchie.
He is a little rent.
But it was cute to pretend that he could be like a sheepdog.
Yeah. Good times.
But Bowie, don't worry. We'll take you back to nature one day. But for now, you're just a city lapdog.
Just a city boy.
Living in a lonely world.
Living in a Long Beach.
He took a midnight train?
He took the midnight shove's car out to the nature.
Oh my gosh.
It was there that he saw a donkey. He thought it was a big dog. And he stood and the window went down. He shook and shook and shook and shook Bowie's faces sticking out of windows.
Oh my gosh.
Growling into the wind.
Okay, so So that's the secret hidden talent that Rebel has. She can create parodies. She's basically the female
Weird Al
Yankovic, if y'all didn't know. It's pretty amazing.
It's really not that
One
amazing.
of her claim to fame when she was first beginning her Instagram famous life was she had a contest, and if you won, she would rewrite your favorite song.
Oh my god, when I hit 1,000 followers, I did that. Yes.
The good old days.
The good old days.
Yeah.
Not gonna say that I miss it.
And of course, the winner chose a song that she had never heard of, so she had
it was out of my range.
She had to really get it, but it was great.
It was fun though.
I will not be editing that out, so I hope you all enjoyed the beautiful voice of Miss
Oh
Rebel
god,
Rouser.
I missed the last note. Oh well, that's okay. I was flat. Ignore it.
Babe, your voice is beautiful.
Thank you.
And you are too.
Oh, thank you.
So that was Two Girls, One Pup, brought to you by the beautiful
melodic sounds of
vocal
stylization.
Vocal stylings of Miss Rebel Rouser.
Not many people get to hear that, so.
And the sick guitar of Shove.
And the low rumbling of Bowie's snores. Okay, so the next segment is called Dear Shovel. This is our segment
where we give really bad.
We give bad advice.
No, we give
good advice, but also bad advice. So if you have a question about literally anything and you want us to answer that question, you can email us at dearskatedate@gmail.com and we will potentially answer your question.
And it can be anonymous. We promise we won't be like, ha ha ha, we know it's you, or like message you on the side. Like, it's fine. People are weird. People have things that they want advice on that they don't want to get caught up in. We respect that because we have boundaries.
Yeah, and you can also give us like a cute little like sign off, like sincerely brokenhearted. Or something like that. We respect that because creativity. Okay, so here's a question for today. I have to ask y'all for wisdom regarding parenting. I know you aren't parents, but you have been children. Some of my best characteristics as a parent have not been handed down to me, but come from what I learned positively and negatively as a child and from my life as a teacher. So here's a practical question. I give a lot to my kid and invest a lot in my family, especially during the pandemic, all day. I also grind hard to pay the bills. I task myself all the time with keeping my kid engaged, but is it okay to sometimes tell them they just need to go away and be alone and let me be alone sometimes? Is it rude for me to tell my child I don't feel like talking to them? Signed, a loving but weary dad.
Sounds like your kid might be a walking condom commercial.
Oh no! I don't think that's the case. I bet you... I mean, okay, like shifting the context a little bit, there are times when Shove has to say to me like, hey babe, like I love you so much, but I just need my own time. And I think that that's okay. Like as much as like, I don't like it when she says that to me and I would put myself in like the child situation. But I do think that like, if she didn't put up those boundaries, then she would go crazy.
All right. You're skipping ahead. Yes, you do need to talk to them and use the words. Hey, guess what? It's daddy's time. But you can't just say that. The whole thing is honesty, and I think children really respect honesty. And if you explain it to them, like even if they're really young, just like try to make it make sense to them, then you can create that, like, hey, sweetie, right now, like, it's my alone time. But if you just say that all of a sudden, the kid's gonna probably be like, how come you want to be alone? Like, being alone's sad. Kids are like, I don't want to be alone, you know? But if you're like, hey, like, sometimes I work really hard and we have so much fun, but I get so tired and I just need a moment to myself. And you've explained to him, like, just like, so every once in a while I might just use these words and that means that it's my time. Because that's what our friend Healy does with her kids, so that they know, like, oh, it's mommy's time. Like, she's going to go draw and paint or, like, do something like self-care. And I think that's really important to have that communication with your kids.
Yeah, and I think that, right, like, banking off exactly what you said, but, like, if you relate it to something that has to do with their interest, like, say your kid is really interested in playing with Barbies or something, like, you could be like, hey, you know how you like playing with your Barbies sometime? And then I'm like, hey, will you come and do the dishes, or will you do this chore? And you're like, no, I want to play with my Barbies right now. That's how I feel. Sometimes, I mean, maybe not relating them to like maybe not relating them to like a chore, but like, I don't know, like, tell them like something that they like doing by themselves.
Yeah.
Because they've got to have something that they enjoy doing by themselves. And like relating that feeling that they experience to you and you saying you need alone time, I think that might get through to them.
Yeah. Or you can become one of those, like, dads that say they have to go to the store and you just sit in your car up the street for, like, 30 minutes to an hour watching videos on your phone or staring out the window, pondering life and being like, ah, yes, silence.
That's what she does. To get away from me. Yeah, I don't think that it makes you a bad dad or like rude to tell your kid like not right now. Because I think that, you know, like you're still a person. Like just because you're a dad, that doesn't mean that you're just a dad.
Wait, did we just come back to having boundaries?
Yeah, we should name this episode like the boundaries episode. Dang. Yeah, no, it really is, though. Like, just how you wouldn't, like, with your spouse, like, you're not going to let your kid be there all the time when you and your spouse are together. Like, same with you as an individual. Like, you need time that's just you. You need time that's just you and your spouse. And then you spend time with you and your kid. And then you spend time with you, your spouse, and your kid. And so those are all really important facets of you as a person. And, like, pre-pandemic, all of those things pretty naturally worked themselves out. You know, there were times when, you know, you would be at work or would be driving somewhere or would be, you know, doing one of your hobbies. I don't know. I'm assuming this about you, but maybe. But like pre-pandemic, all of that happened more naturally than it does now. So if there's anything that I've learned from the pandemic, it's that I have to create, like I have to artificially, I have to artificially create these different, like, segments of my life, kind of, to make sure that all the different parts of me are fulfilled. And it's not easy, and your kid's not going to get it at first, but you have to be like, I'm the parent. Period.
And you have to make sure it happens soon, or else you're going to freaking snap. You're going to hold it in, and then that kid's going to be like, Daddy, 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 play, play, loud, loud, noise, noise. And you're going to be like, stop! Like, get away from me.
Yeah, for sure.
And it happens. You see it all the time. It's happened to me as a child with my parents. Like, and it's because we let it bubble over. And as much as it could be like that you want to be the best parent, and you want your child to have nothing but happy,
and because
wonderful
you love
memories.
Them.
And you want them to know, like, oh, just, I'm really tired, but I don't want them to think I don't love them and I don't want to spend time with them. But it's all about you doing this, having a conversation with your child about needing boundaries or time by yourself a little bit and making sure they understand will make them a better person, because then they will form boundaries and they will learn how to make time for themselves. So if you look at it in a way that you're actually becoming a better parent by having your alone time and communication with your child, that, like, it's just, you know, it's
damn, babe, thing. That's some solid advice.
I'm a Capricorn, that's all I
That's
know.
some really good advice.
You're welcome.
Wow.
You're welcome, weary dad.
Wow. Weary but loving dad. Thanks for sending us in that question. Do you have any really horrible advice for this dad?
Oh, like, okay, so if you go to the pet store, they're essential business, so they're still open right now. They make child-sized cages.
Oh my God.
And I would also stop at the candy store and get, like, the kids' favorite candy.
Horrible.
Like, a bag full.
No, babe.
And then you leave a trail of candy to the cage. And leave, like, a fun book or something, coloring book in there or something. And then, like, once the kid gets inside and sees the toy, just lock it. Then throw a blanket over it. And hopefully I'm assuming this cage is either far and outside or it's in a padded room where you won't hear anything, like soundproof. And then just go do what you want to do. And that'll be like your fun time. And you won't have to worry about it. Then when you're ready to like, I can deal with this now, unlock the cage.
My advice is actually completely the opposite of that. I think that you should quit your job and just spend all of your time with your kid. I think that's the only way to be a good parent, is just to spend every single waking moment. Like, don't let your kids sleep. Just keep them up all night so that they could spend time with you. And you stay up all night, and then just do that until you collapse.
That's bad.
And yours wasn't bad.
Mine made sense. Yours is so bad.
You told him to put the kid in a locked cage.
Yeah.
In a padded room.
Yeah, it's fine.
And lure them there with candy.
We do it to adults all the time.
We don't lure them there with candy. Anyways,
is it crack candy?
Don't do any of those horrible things. Those are both so bad advice.
Yes, please don't put your child in a cage.
Don't quit your job for your child. Okay. So, yeah. So I hope that advice helped you.
No, but seriously, you're a good dad, even for just asking someone this question.
Yeah,
so
the fact that you're asking this question makes you a good dad.
It's more than my dad ever did.
Yikes. Oh, guess what? We got a podcast review.
What's a podcast review?
Well, thanks for asking, Shove. When you go on Apple Podcasts and you look up Skate Date Podcast, you'll find our podcast. And on there, you can rate us up to 5 stars.
5 stars.
And you can leave us a written review. And if you leave us a written review, then we might read about it on the podcast and say yay to you. So today we're celebrating Breezy. Breezy with a little cloud blowing air
with
emoji. So cute. Thanks, Breezy, for leaving us a review. It says, these two are so incredibly funny, sweet, beautiful, and real. That's for sure. It's always refreshing to hear 2 women unapologetically tell it like it is. Love the pod, love the vibe, earrings, style, all of it. Aww. Today we actually have earrings and style. So, yay.
We knew this comment was coming. We knew this review was coming.
We had to dress up.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being the empowering badasses you are. Can't wait to go on more dates. Aww. Oh my God, it's like we're in like the biggest open relationship, babe. Like the biggest open relationship. Yeah. So thank you so much, Breezy, for leaving that review. And please, anyone who's listening who thinks that they might be interested in leaving a review, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, Apple Podcast reviews are important because the more comments we get on our episodes, the more chances that Apple
picks us up and sends us out to the masses.
And then maybe other people will be like, oh wow, Skate Date, what's this? Oh, Shovel, maybe I do jig it. I don't know. And then maybe
we'll be able to go around and
do live podcasts in different cities near you.
That's the dream.
That's what she told me, and I was like, that sounds cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. So that's what we're hoping for someday. Well, that was it. That was our podcast for the day. I hope you enjoyed spending time with us.
I hope you enjoyed that we haven't fully given up on this relationship and remembered to dress up.
Yeah.
Because even on a Wednesday hump day, we should still look good for y'all, even if you can only hear us.
I honestly wore sweats all day, and then I got dressed up just for you. Because it makes my voice sound more sweet.
I took off a sports bra and put on a real bra.
Oh my god, no way, I'm wearing a real bra too.
Oh my gosh. We were so ready for this group
That
date.
never happens anymore.
Anyways,
right.
We'll see y'all next day.
Thanks for listening to Skate Date. We love you so much. See you next day. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, 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 bye. Mwah.
You always take it 3 too far. And I love you for it.